Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, we'll give our honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash.
Alright, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well of Yashala. Yashala being Hebrew for Israel. Peace and blessings to the faithful elect. You've been out teaching His word across the four corners of the earth. And truth and sincerity in the true names, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Why Yahweh Shai. Alright. So this is a quick this some quick, hopefully some faith boosting for brothers. But just something I want to share. Basically I had a night vision like sometime last year, as it talks about in the scriptures. Have a brother get the scripture real quick. It tells us in Joel, the second chapter, you know what I'm saying, that the Lord was going to do these things, and pretty much I found the dream to be relevant now, based off everything that has transpired at this point since having this dream, this vision, this night vision, or this revelation, whatever you want to call it, or willing to make sense. And you brothers, you know what I'm saying, you sisters out there, sincere sisters, sincere brothers out there, hear it. Alright, so in Joel, the second chapter, you can start at the 27th verse, I believe, brother.
27?
Yeah. So before the brother get it, pretty much, I had a dream about, I seen 12 blood moons. You come back. I seen 12 blood moons, at one time in the sky. And I got everything dated, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that brothers think I'm lying. You ain't got to take that off. So pretty much, you go ahead, brother. Joel,
2 and 27?
Yeah, second chapter.
Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord, your power.
Turn the light down a little bit, brother. Okay, that's good. No, keep going. There's more on it.
It's a lot. Joel chapter 2, verse 27.
Okay.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord, your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And I shall come, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Alright, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So, this is a dream I actually wrote down, man. I had this dream. I'll probably let the brother hold it up to the camera. I had this dream last year, October 21st, 2019. It's at the bottom of the screen in our corner. You see it? You see it, brother?
Come on.
And then if you scroll back to the top, I dated it myself and I actually put the time on it. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can it's not for vain glory, it's just to show, and really the Father made me realize, like, He really doing what He said He was going to do, You can see it at the top of the screen. So the reason why I was 2 o'clock, obviously you can go to sleep at any time, but that's cool, brother, they can see it. But pretty much I used to go to the plant at 3, because I worked basically the night shift. So I had this right before I went to the plant, and pretty much the things that went into Jacob's trouble, 12 Reddits. It was 12. This is what I put when I woke up. So I put Jacob's trouble, 12 Reddit's blood moons, multiple solar eclipses. All these blood moons were during the daytime, and a group of Jakes. That's how I put it in detail. I was able to see that, like all that.
I believe so.
You can hit it's autofocus on there too. Hit the screen on the camera if you need to. Because these basically are, pretty much heavy details I took from, when I woke up. You know what I'm saying? So, you all can see that. Just let you see it. But I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Alright? Alright, so with that being said, it's the dream. This is what I wrote down. I woke up. It say, in a house to retreat, terrified amongst group of about 10 to 12 to 15 or 20 worldly jakes. So I was in a house to retreat, and the house I was in was you know what I'm saying, my mom's crib, whatever. And it basically is going on to say terrified amongst a group of about 10 to 12 to 15 or 20 worldly jakes, right? Because let me just keep going. It say who were trying to retreat with me once they got word of what was going on. Everyone was panicking, arguing, bickering. Dykes were among this group, which we know to be abomination to the scriptures. They say, brothers call bull dykes, bull, you know what I'm saying, women, that like to, lay with the same gender, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but think they're, men, a lot of jakes, you know what I'm saying, from the hood like that, these so-called, they're supposed to be so-called women. But anyway, they say everyone was panicking, arguing, bickering. Dykes were among this group. They were left outside, front door porch step, huddled up, scared. So, I don't know if I want to basically go into, because I had to kind of because I ain't went over this basically since last year. But so I'm going to just keep reading, and then I'll go back and give you the dream, the order. But it's pretty much it. It says they were left outside. They were left outside, because I was in the house. They were left outside, front door porch step, huddled up, scared. All those jakes, that big number I was talking about. Crying, I believe. All while I realized or knew what was occurring or in process of being. And in parentheses, I got Jacob's trouble. And in brackets, I got I believe, or the end. While it was still nighttime, because it ended up going from the daytime to the nighttime, right? And just during this entire time, I will want to say this, we was around this house. It was just revolved around this house, the driveway, and, basically going from it being just bunched up, basically pretty much just being amongst a crowd, just people just going with the day as usual. And then I guess at the point in the dream, I could feel what was going on get ready to take place. I still had knowledge of the truth in the dream. So I ended up getting in the house, and when I got in the house, because I was just explaining as I go, when I got in the house, the Jakes that was just all over the place, they end up realizing what was about to take place. And hence, remember all the details I told you, so I'm going to keep going. It says it was completely dark out, so they were left outside, front door, porch, step, huddled up, scared, crying, I believe, all while I knew or realized what was occurring or in process of being. Jacob's trouble, I believe, or the end. While it was still nighttime, it was completely dark outside. It looked like the fiercest storm, but it looked like the fiercest storm could be forming looking at this nighttime sky. Because basically I went back to the front door. That's how I knew they was on the front door porch step. And cause my mom, she got this glass door. Like, you know how Jake got the screen door in the hood. She got the glass door. You know what I'm saying? The big glass door or whatever. So I could open the actual door and the screen door is still in place, locked. But it's a glass in between. So I was able to look out the glass after I opened the door, and they was trying to get in, and I was just looking. And I looked up, and it went from, because the point I was outside, at the point when I was outside, it was completely daytime. And by the time I looked out, I went in, everything changed. It got serious. That's why they wanted to come in. But when I went and basically looked at the sky, when they was at the door, I looked up, it was completely dark. I've never seen the sky so like fiercely dark. It was crazy. But let me keep going. It says it looked like the fiercest storm could be forming looking at this nighttime sky. I eventually stepped out from being inside to talk. By the time I looked up, man, everything was in the dark. By the time I got inside, and I went to the door because they came to the door, you know, panicking, you know, all those Jakes. And by the time I looked and I seen why they was in that spirit, I looked behind them, I noticed the sky, and it was like stormy fierce. Like it was crazy, man. But so I eventually stepped outside from being inside to talk to them or tell them / explain the sky, that moment, and the signs that I thought should be clear while afraid myself, and ended up doing all this in the driveway. So, Salaki, I take that back. This is a different porch, right? It's a different porch. So at this point, they was on the side porch, right? And I was talking to them, and it was still daytime, but I wasn't, you know, they was crying and boo-hooing and all of that. And then I ended up stepping out. It's like 3 porches, but anyway, it's the middle one. So I ended up going out, and I ended up talking to them once they realized they couldn't get in. And pretty much, Salakia, when I went outside, man, that's when I looked up. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yeah, that's when I looked up and I seen 12 blood moons in the sky. It was 12 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, 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 boom. And they had like eclipses going on them, and it was like flares coming off of them. I'm talking about in the daytime sky. You know what I'm saying? Straight blood moons. 12 of them. Because I believe I counted them in a dream. That's how I knew. Because they stood out to me. You know? So I knew exactly what time it was. You know what I'm saying? I knew what was going on. So I was telling them because they was confused. They didn't know what was going on. You know? That's why I said it should be clear.
Constant headaches controlled my life. Nothing
what was
worked
going on.
until I found the
and that was, they don't know about Jacob's trouble, but the end. This the end, you know? But anyway, it says they eventually get inside this sun porch with me, because that's where I was at, the back porch. But really, just kind of amongst me. Fast forward, so they end up moving around with me, but they never really like came in with me. Like they wasn't, and I, you know, for brothers that's in the truth, you can take this and break this down for what it was, because this is all based around the house. house going to seed. These are all Jakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Jake. You know what I'm saying? It says, fast forward, I had a worldly, haughty, modelish, vibrant wife with a daughter this entire time. So this was crazy. Who had an appearance of being haughty and etc., but was treated as virtuous and shamefaced. Once one-on-one with me and our daughter, you know what I'm saying? Because I really basically got to know her when she got separated from the crowd. Because she was basically in the midst of this crowd of Jakes, you know what I'm saying? And note, this is all happening around the little house. You know what I'm saying? A house, man. It says, and our daughter, who could be no more than 1 year old, the daughter obviously, this woman was either truly virtuous or shamefaced eternally. So this woman was either truly virtuous or shamefaced internally, because she came off and she was dressed like pretty much, you know what I'm saying, a slut. You know what I'm saying, like a video vixen. That's how she was dressed. She kind of looked like she kind of looked like what's her name? I think her name Monroe. Basically, that girl, that woman, that Jake, that she Ethiopian. So that's what I say. She looked like she was Ethiopian, but she looked like the woman that King Los, the rapper, is married to. Just look her up, King Los' wife or something like that. It says this woman was either truly virtuous or shamefaced internally, and was misrepresenting herself or misunderstood while separated from me in this house basically the entire time, and actually amongst this crowd. So she was separated from me and she was around the crowd the whole time. But the Jake, we was all, this is like we live in the same world as Jake, but we ain't amongst Jake. You know what I'm saying? We're not really involved with Jake. We just amongst you. You know what I'm saying? It says, but I'm believing she was, nevertheless, she was amongst the world. So, because when I truly got to deal with her one-on-one, she wasn't like what she was, you know what I'm saying, amongst that whole time. And then for me to have this understanding and actually truly deal with her with some sense and on that level was crazy. It says, nevertheless, she was amongst the world, amongst these Jakes who were in the world. Eventually, after madness, near fights from myself with those Jakes that basically were just a lost bunch, she came or was brought. She came or was brought or summoned, it appeared, out of the world, away from those Jakes, when I called her being in this house, which we were all in. She then suddenly came to me as a nearly naked swimsuit model. Right? Looked just like Lola Monroe. That was her name. That's King Los' wife's name. Lola Monroe. She Ethiopian, so-called. Might be a Jake though. But she then suddenly came to me as a nearly naked swimsuit model. Looked just like Lola Monroe, but was actually and willing for all submissiveness. It appeared, right? From what I could see in the dream. I then covered her with a blue, red, and yellow cover. Might have been a kid's cover, while each of us covered her head with it as well. So I had like this one-on-one moment with her, and I was talking to her. I was like kneeling down, you know what I'm saying, like this. And she was sitting down on the porch, and I handed her this cover, and we both put it together over her head. Like she was basically coming out of the world. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. And it says, while each of us covered her head with it as well, while she held our daughters, right, quote unquote. We three were then alone on this indoor porch. Some porches, some porch, sitting and crouching on this step, which is outside the door that leads you directly into the house. That woman, looked concerned and worried, but gave off the feeling of confidence because we both knew and understood what was going on. About to take or about to take place, or what we knew had to happen the entire time while dealing with everything and everyone else. Then I woke up before anything occurred. You know what I'm saying? So that whole time she was walking around amongst Jake in this house, the Jakes who was all in this house, and then it's like she was just sent to me. And that whole time I was separated from all those Jakes that were just lollygagging the entire time. And then, blood moons represent, destruction. If a brother want to get that scripture real quick in Joel, that's spiritual because that's the same chapter. Because everything that I ended up taking out of the dream was Jacob's trouble. I seen 12 red blood moons with multiple solar eclipses. All these blood moons were during the daytime, and it was a group of Jakes, and they were literally around and amongst me the whole time to be safe and made sure they was straight. If they would have just been on their stuff, but they ended up being left out of the house. You know what I'm saying? That they were actually at and amongst the whole time, and that just going to seed, maybe the house of Israel or something like that. But really, long story short, what I take out of it is that Jake pretty much, I'm not Salaki, not Jake, it's less about Jake. Everything that went on to happen this year just showed me that dream. That I need to share this with brothers because we done had about 4 or 5 blood moons this year. And like I said, blood moons represent destruction. You know what I'm saying? The Lord about to bring a lot of death on earth. You just had the Starberry moon, and before that you had the so-called pink moon. You had other moons before that. So I had this dream like October 21st, 2019. So this is something I wanted to share. I'm going to try to let the brother get this scripture before this cut off because I'm running out of space. But yeah, man, the Lord said he was going to show signs and wonders. I should have been brought this out, but everything's on the Lord's timing at the end of the day. So, Joel in the 2nd chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joel chapter 2 verse 31. Joel chapter 2 verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come.
So that's what blood moons represent. You know what I'm saying? They don't represent anything else. Okay? So I just got a few more words I want to say. So pretty much we're seeing it. The Lord showed me 12 blood moons. 12 represents completion. 12 is also the number of the tribes. 12 is also the number of the gates. 12 is also the number of those that's going to sit with Yahweh Shai. 12. You know what I'm saying? So, and then 12 is completion all the way around because 1 plus 2 is 3. You know what I'm saying? 3 goes to completion as well. But anyway, I said some few words I want to say. Pretty much, the scripture just complete destruction is coming to America, man. I can't say it any way other, and that's what the Lord showed, man. He showed that in October 21. It's like October 21st. He had me have that dream. He sent me that night vision. 12 blood moons in the sky, and there was eclipses and everything going on. And guess what? Jakes were crying that were amongst me, and I was outnumbered. I was the only one out of them that knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And a random woman I didn't even know, she just was sent with me and saved. But the whole point is, Jacob's trouble is shown in that, and these 12 blood moons is showing you that complete destruction is coming to this place. Complete destruction. All right. So it's gonna be in many forms, by many forms, right? Through many ways. Famine, pestilence, and sword, man. All types of killing devices, ways to kill you. Pestilence being diseases, and famine, starvation, dehydration. You know what I'm saying? You dying because you don't know how to properly move, and you're being murdered and killed because you don't know how to properly move, because you are also starved out from hearing the knowledge that you're supposed to walk with, right? The instructions that the Father gave us as Israelites, because there's only out to so-called Negroes, Blacks, and Native American Indians, so-called, So with that, you want to read that one more time, brother?
Con.
We are in the last days. We are 100% in the last days, man.
So con.
This is the calm before the storm. Everyone's laughing, and then when that hit, that real darkness come, that's really already here. But when that darkness come that Jake can't deal with, it's over with, right? So all types of destruction is gonna come to completely engulf this place, man. Engulf this world, this society that you people we've been accustomed to, right? Growing up before coming to this truth. So go ahead, brother.
Joel chapter 2, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come.
So it's great, it's terrible, and those blood moons are ushering in that day. All right, complete destruction, terrible. So Lord willing, this has been edifying, and it's really faith boosting because, you know, once this place is destroyed, the kingdom comes, immortality and all the promises. Lord willing, we able to endure, and we not those jakes that were on the outside of the house trying to get in last minute, right? So with that, shalom.
Shalom.